Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh, this is my third video. I'm so excited. So I have a top 10 favorite books list. And this book is still like this list is still like a work in progress because there's so many more books that I need to read. So let's just get into it. Alright, so I want to go in alphabetical order by author. So yeah, so my first book on this list, and they're not in any particular order. There's no top 5 or, well, this is top 10, but yeah. So the first book on this list is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. And honestly, this book, guys, it made me cry. It gave me that warm, fuzzy feeling in my chest. And honestly, what more do you want from a book, you know? It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So basically, it's about Simon Spear. He's 16, and he's a theater kid. So basically, he's been exchanging emails with this other guy in school anonymously. Like, they're both anonymous, they're under aliases, and they're both gay, but Simon is not out yet, right? And so one day Simon accidentally leaves his email account open on one of the school libraries, and someone sees it and they end up blackmailing him. And it's so like, no. And I know most of you guys have probably read the book or seen Love, Simon. If you haven't, please, like, it's so good, like, oh my gosh. And this book like broke my heart, and it like mended it back together and gave it a nice warm blanket, and it was amazing. Everything about this book was wonderful. The movie was wonderful. I loved it. Becky Albertalli is honestly on my new favorites author list. She's amazing. She's amazing. Alright, so the next book on my list is In the Time of the Butterflies by Julia Alvarez, and this is my personal copy of it. And you can still see some of the tags from when I was working on it for my AP Literature class. So I love this book so much. I read this for my AP Lit class, and I loved it. It was amazing. Julia Alvarez is a master. Like, she is just the master of writing, because it is so good. So basically, it's about 4 Mirabal sisters, or the 4 Mirabal sisters, and they ended up becoming symbols of hope in a country shadowed by dictatorship. And so it was during the Dominican Republic, and I believe the time stretches out from like the early 1940s to the 1960s, and that's where it follows the girls. That's where it follows the girls, and it's just amazing. And it's just heart-wrenching and real and raw and everything that you want in a book. It is nonfiction, so definitely take the time to read it. If you want to learn about some 4 awesome women, go ahead and read In the Time of the Butterflies. And this is just one of the covers, so yeah. The next book on my list is Speak by, I don't know if you can, L'Oreal Sanderson. I first read this book my sophomore year of high school, and I knew about the book at least 2 years beforehand, but I was like, I don't know if I want to read a book like that. You know, like, it seems really intense, I don't know. But I ended up reading it, and I just fell in love, and it was wonderful. And honestly, I just feel like it's one of those books you kind of have to read. like books that may tackle an uncomfortable subject, or you know, it's just so good, so good. And there's also a Lifetime movie, and it has Kristen Stewart in it, and I think she did a pretty good job playing Melinda. But honestly, this is a great book. So basically, the book starts off at like she's starting her freshman year of high school, and she has no friends. All of her friends hate her, and because of that, it explains that, like, fairly early in the beginning of the book, there's a party that they all went to, like an end of summer party, and she ends up calling the police, and everyone got mad at her because she never really got a chance to explain why she called the police. She called the police because she was raped, so that there's a trigger warning for rape in the story. But yeah, and so it changes everything for her. Like, it changes her friendships, and how open she is with herself, and how she views her attacker, and it's amazing. And I definitely recommend reading this one. There we go. The next on my list is the Vanished series by Meg Cabot, and I have the 1 and 2 combination. I have both, so I have all 4 books, and honestly, I love this series. So basically, it's about this girl named Jess, and she gets struck by lightning, but when it comes to when you get to like lightning wounds, it's like there's an entry wound and an exit wound, but there was never an exit wound. So basically, she gets this ability to find missing people if she looks at a picture of them, and it's great, and it is amazing. And so she ends up like calling anonymously to like police stations or the FBI and saying, hey, this is where this person is, and they end up like tracking her and investigating her. But it's so good. I'm honestly probably gonna pick this up again and read it, because it's been so long since I last read it. But it's amazing. It's wonderful. I totally recommend. Alright. Some of you guys may agree with me, may not agree with me for this being on my favorites list, but The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I read this my freshman year of high school, so like 2013, 2014. I love this book. It gave me very A Walk to Remember vibes, and I love A Walk to Remember, like Mandy Moore. I'm trash for Mandy Moore. But I love this book. And if you guys don't know what The Fault in Our Stars is about, it's about this girl named Hazel Grace. And she has... I can't even tell you what she has. Oh, man. Is it cystic fibrosis? I'm pretty sure that's what that is. But basically, she has cancer, and it's like, I believe the water fills up in her lungs and makes it difficult for her to breathe, and so she has to carry around an oxygen tank. And her parents, especially her mom, takes her to this cancer support group, and she hates it, and she never wants to go until she meets Augustus Waters. And it's just like something changes, and it's cute. I love it. I think it's a nice love story. And this has always kind of been one of my favorite books. So if you haven't read The Fault in Our Stars, I definitely recommend going to see it. Because see it, read it, you know, whichever your preference, but it's good. I like it. Alright, my next favorite is actually the 5th book in the series. Yes, Max, from Maximum Ride. I actually enjoy the first 3 a lot, but I'd say that this one's my favorite because I'm trash for Max and Fang. Like, I love them, and I feel like this is where my ship was sailing, and it was smooth sailing, and everything was great until James Patterson introduced Dylan in the next book and ruined everything. Because love triangles are dumb. But yeah, I love this book, which is the 5th book in the series. Even though the Maximum Ride series didn't give me the best ending, like it didn't fulfill like this Maximum Ride hole in my heart. I really love this book, and I definitely recommend this series, like especially if you're just starting out with really getting into reading. It's a good series to read. Just know that the ending, you probably won't be very happy with it. So yeah, the next one is also a Maximum Ride novel, but it's a graphic novel, and honestly, these were a gift. And just look, well, you can't see when I flip the pages like that, but it's so, like, it's so good. And I believe the first one follows events of the first and second graphic novel follow the events of the first book. But it's so good. I got this for like $10 at Barnes & Noble at the time. This is actually how I discovered the Maximum Ride series. I went to a book fair in like middle school, and they had the graphic novels, but was it middle school? Did they have book fairs in middle school? I can't even remember. I feel like they did. I feel strongly that they did. But I saw this at a book fair, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna remember this because I want to be able to buy it later because I didn't have any money. But then I realized that it was a novel, and so I was reading the novels, and then I eventually got just continue to show you, and I eventually got the manga later on. So I had the first 2 copies of the manga. Oh, and it gives you an excerpt of the latest books that he is releasing or has released. But yeah, look at this. Like, these books were a gift. It was a gift. No one could tell me anything. Okay. The next one is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. This book, you guys, this book is so good. Okay. So it's about Star Carter. She's 16, and she feels like she's stuck in between like 2 worlds, because she lives in, I guess if you want to say it, like the hood. She lives in the hood. She lives in the ghetto, as most people would call it, but she basically lives in a poor black neighborhood, and that's like her home. That's where she's from. That's who she is. Well, not who she is. Let me take that back. But that's what people would consider her to be if they just took a glance at her. And then on the other side of her, she goes to Williamson Prep School. It's a prep school for all the rich white kids, or really rich kids in general. And so she feels like she's straddling both lines. That she's kind of struggling to find what makes sense for her and what works. And so she's at home, like in her town, and she goes to this party because, you know, the party, why not go? And she meets up with an old friend, and he ends up taking her home, and they get pulled over by a police officer, and he's asked to step out of the car. And when he like looks over and looks over and talks to her to ask if she's okay, and I guess he reaches into the car, and the police officer just shoots him dead, like. And Star is just a witness to this, and it changes everything. Like, honestly, Star has to make a choice whether she wants to say something or doesn't want to say something, or whether she wants her identity to be revealed as the witness. But honestly, it's a great book, and it's powerful, and it's really eye-opening if you haven't been really paying attention to what's going on lately. And I remember reading this, and my friend, she read it before me, so I was like, does it end how I think it's gonna end? And she said yes, and I was devastated. But it's the truth, but I really recommend this. The movie's coming out in October, so definitely take a chance to read this, watch the movie when it comes out, you know, show support, because this is a real issue that's been going on for a very long time, and it's good that everyone just kind of opens their eyes and reads this, even if it makes you uncomfortable or makes you feel weird. Like, it's a good read, and I definitely recommend it. Alright, next on my list is The Sun is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I love this book so much. So this, when the summer started, so after my freshman year of college, this summer I started reading again. And so I was like, alright, I picked up Perks of Being a Wallflower, which is also on my list, but I don't currently have my copy with me right now. But yeah, so I picked up Perks of Being a Wallflower, I picked up The Sun is Also a Star, and Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. And I read Perks first, and then Simon, and then I read this. And honestly, like, what more? Like, it's very, like, oh my goodness. It's so beautiful, and it's amazing. So if you're into romance, definitely read this, please, for the both of us, because I love this book so much. Okay, so it's very, like, insta-love, but it's not, like, a weird insta-love. It's, like, so basically it follows two characters, Daniel and Natasha, and they're the main characters, and Daniel is trying to make a choice, like, does he want to go to this interview to go to Yale, or, like, what does he want to do? Like, because he feels like, should I do what everyone else wants me to do, or should I do what I want to do? And Daniel is Korean American, and Natasha, she's a Jamaican immigrant, and she is working on not being deported, and that is just, it brings you on a ride, and it's just like, what is happening? How are these paths are going to be crossed? But it's amazing. And what I really loved about this book is, like, not only did it not only shows the perspective of the two main characters, it also shows the perspective of everyone that they kind of come across. So, like, and it's amazing. So, like, a waitress at the restaurant that they were in, or security guard at the building that they were in, like, things like that. And it shows their perspective, like, even if it's just for, like, a short, quick chapter. But this book is amazing, and I love it, and you will love it too if you just read it and accept Nicola Yoon into your life. Like, it's so good. It's beautiful, it's riveting, it's lovely. It'll make you feel all warm and gushy inside. Read it, please. I beg of you. The next book is Everything by Nicola Yoon. And this was actually the first book that I read by her. I read it last year when the movie was coming out, and I was like, ooh, I think we have, I checked it out at the school library, and I read it. And honestly, this book was so good. It was so good. So basically, it's about a girl named Madeline. She has SCID, which makes her immune system very weak, so she doesn't go outside. She doesn't come into contact with bacteria whatsoever. Everything she wears is decontaminated. Everything she comes into contact with is decontaminated. And that was her life, and I guess she was comfortable with it until Ollie and his family move in next door, and it just changes everything. Like, at first she wasn't gonna pay any mind, because what was she gonna do? She was stuck in the house forever, essentially. But they end up talking through email and text and getting to know each other and falling for each other. Honestly, clearly, I'm a buff for romance. I love love. And so I would definitely I would definitely recommend Everything. It's so good. If you haven't read it or watched the movie, what are you doing? Please read this. Please read this. It's so good. It's so good. Like, I love romance. I love love. It's great. Okay, I know I said that I had 10, but I'm just gonna 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm just gonna do 11 and add Girl Interrupted on that list. I just finished this book, I'd say a couple days ago. Yeah, and it was really good, and it talks about Susanna Kayson's like account. Like, this is her first year, or her only year, in a psychiatric hospital, and it's amazing, and it's so deep, and like it kind of like literally throws you in there, you know. So I do have to give a trigger warning. Borderline personality disorder, suicide, attempts of suicide, mentions of suicide, really, and self-harm. And this book was just really powerful to me, and I tabbed all the pages that I liked with all the quotes that I liked, or things that just kind of clicked and made sense to me. So yeah, this book is really good, and I really recommend it. I know there's a movie out, and I haven't seen it yet. I know, don't crucify me. But it's definitely on my list. But this book is really, really good. It's like, it's funny, it's sad, it's I don't know, it just kind of just like shakes you a little. It's just like, pay attention, you know? But yeah, that's it. My top 11 favorite books that I currently own, and I'm just gonna pick them up and show you like all these lovely novels. Look at this. Look, I love it. I'm definitely working on building my collection of books, because I don't really have very many. So yeah, I'm excited, and I really hope that you like this video. Please like and comment and subscribe, and just tell me what you want to see, and or give me book recommendations, and I'm really excited. And also, I want to give a big thank you to the BookTube community. You guys have given me so much love, and I love it, and I will give all my love back to you. See, there you go.